This is one of the rarest and most exclusive weapon blueprints ever in Call of Duty, and the way you unlock this is fairly difficult and involved, but I'm going to try to make it simple in this video so that you can get this weapon blueprint for yourself. It looks absolutely insane, and you can use it in whatever you want, multiplayer, Warzone, zombies, whatever you feel like. But the way that you unlock this is through zombies, and it's actually an Easter egg inside of the Elder Sigil Dark Aether, and I'm going to show you every single step how to get this. Now, the first thing you're going to want to make sure you do is have access to the new Dark Aether Rift. If you don't already have that unlocked, then I have a link to a video in the description that will show you how to open that. However, you can also party up with people, and if they happen to have the Dark Aether Rift unlocked, then you're able to go ahead and do this quest. So the things that you're going to need to do before you jump into the Dark Aethers, number one, make sure you have an Elder Sigil or somebody on your team does. You have to do this in the Elder version of the Rift, otherwise it will not work. And before you go in, I'm going to recommend you start a Spore contract and grab these inhibitor devices. And this may seem like a weird tip, but it's actually going to be very useful because you have very limited time in this Dark Aether, and you're going to want to make sure you start with this thing because it is actually step one. So once you have an inhibitor device, you also have all of your perks and armor, everything you might need. I'm also going to recommend you have a Scorcher if you have it. It's not necessary, but it is going to make your life a lot easier, trust me. So once you have all of these things in order and your party's prepared, we're going to jump into the Dark Aether Rift using the Elder Sigil, and once you arrive here, the person with these Spore devices, we're going to run immediately down into the high-rise building from where you spawn. It's just very straightforward on the bottom level. We're going to run right through, and then up the stairs, there will be just a singular Spore over here on this table. We're going to throw our device at it. It's going to knock the kind of outer shield off, and then we're just going to shoot it to destroy it very easily, and it's going to drop this R4D detector. So we're going to pick this up, and it's going to replace our equipment. Now, this thing actually allows you to kind of like see this ultraviolet, radiation or whatever, and you need to look at these spots on the wall where there are arrows guiding you to a certain section, and make sure that your team are around for this in order to cover you, because while you have this detector out, you're not really going to be able to shoot or fight or anything like that. So we're going to follow where the arrows take you, and you're going to go through a little bit of a maze. Now, even if you just know the maze's route, you're actually going to need to look at all of the arrows specifically to activate this next item that you're going to need to get. So make sure you're being mindful about looking at all of the arrows and following the path directly, but it shouldn't take you too long. You just need to go up and down these concrete structures a few times, and then eventually you're going to come around this right side, you're going to cut through the middle, and then once you get to the end of the arrow, the final thing should allow you to pick up this gold skull, and that's how you'll know you've done this right. When you're looking at through the R4D detector, and then this comes up, you should be able to pick up this item, and then you're good to go. Once you've picked up the gold skull, the next thing you need to do is run over and find this gold whale. This skull actually says "Call me Ishmael," which is a reference to Moby Dick, and of course that means we need to find a giant whale. And so if you run over into the right side and then you come through this building, over here you should see this golden whale up top. This is where a Scorcher is really useful. However, you can use the actual just level design to get up here as well, but you're going to need to get to the mouth of the whale in some form or fashion, and once you get up here, you should be able to offer the skull, and once you do that, it should spit out a USB stick for you. And if you've gotten that item, great. That's a very big one to get. We're going to take that USB stick over to the coordinates that it says on the stick, which is C3. This big square building is going to be the one you're looking for, so take yourself over here, or whoever has the USB, and inside of the bottom of this, there should be a staircase. You'll run up here, and then there will be a set of computer monitors. Just come around to this side and then put the USB stick into that monitor. It's going to spawn a very big, beefy HVT enemy. This guy is no joke, but you're going to need everybody to help you take him out. He's pretty strong. Once you kill this guy, he should drop a key, and once you get this sort of tower key, this will unlock the top of the door at the top of the high-rise building. And so in order to get up here can be very tricky without a Scorcher. This is why I recommend having one. However, for everybody in your team that does not have a Scorcher, the way you're going to have to get up is the old-fashioned way. You're going to have to sort of rappel up as high as you can and then take these moving trains that will lead you up to the top of the building. Obviously, even with a Scorcher, you may need to ride this last train or two in order to get up here, but every single person in your party needs to make it to this door, otherwise this will not work. I cannot stress that enough. Make sure your group stays together, or at least make sure everybody knows how to get to the top of this building, because if you don't, everybody is screwed. Of all the steps we've talked about, I'm not gonna lie, this may be the most important one, because all of your efforts will be for naught if not everybody can get to the top of high rise. Now, assuming you can, what we're gonna do is everybody is going to go into this building. The key should unlock this door for you, and there's going to be a rift inside. If the rift is red, that means not everybody is around yet and you're not able to access it. If the rift is purple, that means you're good to go for the boss fight section. Now, if you've played the story mission version of the boss, which I assume if you're watching this video, you probably have, it's very similar to that. However, it's more difficult because the moves actually cover all of the islands, or at least most of them. When she's doing her giant nuke move, pretty much every island is in danger. So it's also going to be recommended, of course, that obviously you have a golden armor plate because that will mostly keep you safe from this attack, but it's still a pretty difficult fight nonetheless. However, it's still the same deal. You're just going to want to shoot and break these orbs, and that's pretty much it. There's actually no phase 2 to this boss fight this time either. It does feel like she has a little more health than she does in phase 1 of the normal fight, but no phase 2 I think more than makes up for it. The boss fight shouldn't actually take you that long. Having a handful of self-revives is obviously useful here, as well as Gersh devices if you've got them, but this boss should be fairly quick and easy if you've already played it before because it's the exact same concept. As soon as you defeat the entity, you can come over to this reward rift and you'll be given a bunch of stuff. You do have the chance to get the new schematics, which have an incredibly low drop rate for some reason. I still haven't gotten any of them, and you will be given guaranteed the entity blueprint, and then once you extract that, the portal is just over to the left side of the reward rift. You can get out of there, and then you get to keep that blueprint. So that's how you unlock it. Hope this helped, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.